Hey there drone fans, Rick here again from Drone Valley. In today's clip, I'd like to share the first of two interviews that I was lucky enough to arrange last week at the DJI launch event in New York for the brand new Mavic 2. Now before leaving for this event, I'm sure like a lot of you, I had certain expectations of what this new Mavic 2 product would look like and what features they might include in the quad. I mean, we've all been exposed for the past year to a constant stream of rumors and pictures and tweets and inside information from people at DJI. The hype on this quad could not have been higher, and I'm driving to the event out there in Brooklyn and I'm thinking there is no way this quad's going to live up to the hype. So we get to the event, we sit down, and DJI did a 45-minute presentation where they went through every technical detail of the things that were changed and how they improved certain things. They showed us some incredibly cool content, both pictures and video, that the quad can produce. And as I'm watching this thing, I'm smiling ear to ear thinking to myself, yeah, this thing lived up to the hype. I can't wait to get my hands on one. So as I'm watching the presentation, I'm sort of looking down on my phone, ordering the quad from the show floor, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. But then after they finished the presentation, they let us walk around, and they had tons of these quads around. So they had units you could look at, you could touch, you could feel, you could take pictures of. They let us go out back and actually fly the quads, but not just fly them in a parking lot, fly them over the river. So they're really confident that this is a rock solid quad. And I like that about the company because a lot of times you go to a trade show and they've got one unit in the booth, you can't touch it, you can't fly it, it's going to be ready in a month. This was not the case. These guys are ready to go. You can order them today and you're going to get what you saw in that presentation. But while I'm at the event, I thought to myself, why don't I try to score a couple of interviews with some heavy hitters from DJI? Because a lot of the questions you guys ask me typically fall into one of two categories. They'll either be product related or they'll be legal. So I thought, let me try and chase down two people to talk to about those particular topics. Now, the first interview that I did was with this gentleman, Michael Oldenburg, who was the guy doing the presentation on stage. And I think he did a fantastic job of conveying those technical details in that presentation. And I've had to do those kind of presentations. They're not easy to do. When you've got a large crowd of people and a ton of information to get through, it's hard to keep the energy up and get all the details out there without tripping over them. So I thought he did a wonderful job. And typically you're exhausted when you come off that stage. So he was kind enough to actually take a few minutes, let me talk to him, ask him a bunch of questions, and I thought he did a great job answering the questions I asked him. Now, I asked him a bunch of questions about the product itself because I wanted him to have time to explain how they came up with these features and what they mean to the average consumer. I did try to sneak a couple of tricky questions in on him, and he did a pretty good job of not answering them. So he wasn't pulling any punches, but every time I asked him a question that I thought I'd get a cool answer on and something that might be leaking, he wouldn't answer it. But I promise I'll stay on top of that and continue to pursue those questions. But in general, he gave me an idea of the philosophy behind the design of it and what the features mean to the average consumer, which was exactly what he said on stage. So stay tuned and I'll run the interview. Then I'll come back at the end with some conclusions around how I think the interview went. Hi, I'm here with Michael Oldenburg from DJI. Michael, your current title is?
Yeah, Product Communications Lead.
Okay, so if you guys watched the live stream today, you saw him on stage, did a fantastic job covering a lot of really complicated details about these two new products, and I can't tell you how impressed I am with the technology in general. I came here expecting big things from you guys, and you've exceeded my expectations almost every front. So I want to ask you a couple of quick questions about the two different drones. Now I understand the Pro, obviously with the Hasselblad relationship, you've got the 1-inch sensor now and you've got the optics and the variable f-stops. That seems to be the drone own at this point. It seems like the best of both worlds between what a Phantom can do and what a Mavic can do. Is that what your intent?
Yeah, it's a huge step up for the Phantom, for the Mavic series, and really putting it on par with the Phantom 4 Pro, but now you get that quality in a package that's significantly smaller.
Yeah.
So I think if you're doing real serious photo or video work, I mean the Mavic 2 Pro is going to probably be the drone you want. But then again, we've thrown another one into the mix, and you know, Mavic 2 Zoom, I think you saw the images on the screen during the presentation, but that parallax effect, that compression,
yeah,
it's gonna separate your video from anything else out there.
That was an Alfred Hitchcock moment watching that.
Yeah.
You know, like a vertigo kind of
zoom
thing.
As well.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, okay, I'm going to order one of these right away. I'm going to get the Pro. That's the one I want. That's the one I want. Then you started talking about the Zoom, and I'm like, no, I really want the Zoom, and I don't know now. You know, I mean, they're both unique in their own way. Yeah, I guess I would. Darn you, DJI. The other thing I'd like to say is that I've said for a year now, the first company to come out with a larger sensor on a portable drone is going to own the market. And I gave our good friends at Autel a little bit of grief because they came out with a smaller 2.3. And the fact that you've got this 1-inch sensor in there now just really puts you so far ahead from an imaging perspective.
Thank you.
And what I like so much about your company is that you're thinking like a user thinks. because when you're concentrating on features that make the drone do things automatically, and I can focus on getting the shot and making sure I've got the right perspective and let the drone do all the flying, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and that was the entire genesis of this product, was how do we enable content creators to do more? And the real ask was just make it like a DSLR, right? I have all of the features that I want in a DSLR aboard this drone, and we didn't get everything, but we think we got a very good first
I think
try.
You made some great headroom on that, no question.
So there's a lot to love about this new drone, and I can't imagine why anyone would be disappointed with any of the features.
No. Now, I think the other quandary for me is that I fly the Phantom series. I love those a lot. And they're big, right? And I get a big suitcase. When I travel, I got to take it with me. This one does everything I need it to do now with the one-inch sensor. So my next question is going to be, where does the Phantom go from here?
Of course.
I don't know if you can talk about it, but
that's
a big question.
$65,000 question.
Right.
Of course, we can't talk about our future product line, but there's always amazing stuff coming from DJI. You're going to see more amazing stuff later this year.
Right.
But I can't comment.
No, I completely understand. I'm just teasing you more than anything. But I got to believe that the Phantom line is alive and well.
Yep.
And we may see something coming in that space.
Yeah, and I think you will see a lot of innovation on Phantom, especially as it relates to the commercial and the enterprise industry.
Right.
So there's innovation happening there for sure.
Right.
Because those users don't so much care quite about the size.
Right.
Maybe they don't want to have an M600 that's
gigantic.
packs up
Sure.
into that. So a Phantom could be a good option.
Right.
Whereas on the consumer prosumer front with the Mavic series, like that portability is one of the key features.
It's huge, absolutely huge. The last question I have for you, which is sort of along the lines of the leaks, which there were plenty, and I felt bad for you guys because it seemed like every day somebody else was leaking something. We saw a picture of a purported Mavic 2 Enterprise. Now, is that a product that's being built, or is that something that was in the labs, or you can't comment on it?
Can't comment on it.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear. All right. Well, that was it. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for spending the time.
Thank you for coming.
What a wonderful event this was today. So thanks again.
Appreciate it.
That was a lot of fun getting a chance to talk to Michael and getting his insight into why they made the changes with the Mavic 2. Because at an event like this, when you come down off stage, there's a ton of press there. They're all just looking to grab you and drag you into a corner and ask you a bunch of questions. So the fact that he took the time to chat with us for a few minutes was really, really nice of him. Now, it's interesting, too, to get his perspective on why DJI made the changes they did to the Mavic 2. It's obvious that they were trying to build sort of a DSLR-like camera that happens to fly. And they built in a lot of advanced features that make the average photographer like me look a whole lot better with my content. So building in hyperlapse and dolly zoom and a lot of the quick shots they've got, the active track to follow things around, just makes my job so much easier when I'm flying that quad to help me capture that beautiful footage I'm looking for. Now, I did try to ask him a bunch of questions about future products and some of the rumors that are out there, and he was stone-faced. He wouldn't answer any of those. He just smiled at me politely. I even tried a couple times off camera. He wasn't giving anything up, but I promise you, I'll continue to pursue that, and maybe I'll get lucky and I'll get an answer on some of the future products that are coming. My suspicion is that if there's a new product coming and they tell me about it, I can't tell you guys about it. So if that happens, you'll see me stop talking about future products. But if I get information that I can share, or I've got some real good sense that there's a rumor out there that's legitimate, I'll let you know. But anyway, he was a great guy to talk to. I've got another interview coming with Adam Lisberg, who's on the legal side of the house, still kind of a communications person, but has a real insight into the legal side, and I'll have that up in a couple of days. So thanks for watching today. If you have any questions at all you want me to answer, drop them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. I have both of these models of the Mavic on order. They should be here in a couple of days. So expect me to do a flood of clips when those things arrive, comparing them to other quads and talking about the features and functions. Now, if you haven't joined the Drone Valley family yet, consider hitting that subscribe button down the bottom. That way you'll be sure not to miss any of the stuff we post. It'll also help us look a little bit better in DJI's eyes because they do look at the subscriber count when they put these invitations out for the event. So thanks an awful lot for your support. We just love putting these clips together. We hope you guys are finding real value in them. And until next time, happy flying.